Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today for our masterclass. Um, this is our March masterclass on nutrition. So we have Dr. Sharon with us. She very kindly wrote an article on leptin resistance. Yes. And Dr. Sharon is a certified nutrition specialist and doctor of pharmacy, specializing in cellular health, mitochondrial wellness, and the mind-body connection, with over 20 years of experience as a clinical pharmacist and expertise in functional nutrition and quantum biology. That's a mouthful. She helps motivated women transform their health by addressing root causes and optimizing their body's innate healing potential. Is that about it?
You did well. Thank you. Thank you for the lovely, lovely
Thank you.
introduction.
Thank you so much for being with us today. So,
So, yeah, so I'm just going to start with asking where everyone is
yeah.
tuning from. And you can put in the chat, or I mean, I'm sure it's okay to unmute, right, Sarah?
Yes, yes, yes. It's okay to unmute.
I'm from Chicago.
Okay. I used to live in Chicago.
Oh, did you?
Yes, I went to pharmacy school in Chicago. So
Where are you at now? You're outside, so
yeah, I'm in Houston, Texas now.
okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna
And
say
the
it's a
weather,
little chilly,
yeah, oh, I bet.
but
And I heard it snowed just last week or recently.
it snowed, and then this week it's pouring rain right now. So I'm gonna have my sound off because there's thunder. So
Awesome. And I know Norma, so
Yep.
Norma is in
I'm in,
Pennsylvania,
yep,
right?
Pennsylvania.
Okay, awesome.
I'm
Yeah.
in South Carolina.
South Carolina, awesome, awesome. Well, I hope the weather is at least warmer over where you are. Um, I'm going to start sharing my slides. And let me know if you cannot see the slide at any point of my presentation, or if you cannot hear me because I am outside. Um, just let me know.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Can everybody see the slides now?
Yes, we can see your Canva page.
Okay. All right. So let me just. Okay, and I know my computer is just a little slow today.
You're fine.
Just bear with me. Thank you. All right, so we are going to talk about leptin today. You know, it's an extension from the article I share in the magazine. But I want to just run through these scenarios, and I want to know if any of these sounds familiar with you. So gaining weight around the midsection after hitting, I don't know, 40 years old. Anybody can relate to that? I'll raise my hand here. Yeah, I can see Sarah too. Maybe you come to the doctor's office and then you're told your cholesterol levels were going up and blood sugar levels were creeping up, but nothing has really changed in terms of diet or your exercise. Maybe the thyroid hormone seems to be slowing down, or maybe joints are making crackling noises. I have experienced that. How about sore muscles? Bones are brittle, like osteopenia, osteoporosis. Well, I hope nobody here experienced that, but these are what I hear from my clients. Or maybe generally just feel tired, frustrated, annoying, and wishing that if I could feel young again. Sometimes I actually do, you know, look at my cousins and you know the younger cousins. I'm like, oh, I wish I was in my 20s or 30s. I don't know if you any of you experience that too. Um, maybe your experience like staring at your wardrobe and that dress or jeans that once made you feel like a queen, and they just don't appeal to you anymore. And then you start to wonder, okay, is this just normal part of aging? Like, am I just really getting old? And is this part of normal? Or is there something else I can do? And I know you probably watch what you eat and you eat pretty clean for your health. You were told to do HIIT. I've done that. Yoga, hot yoga. Okay, look, you got to get your strength training because muscles are important. And hey, you got to do intermittent fasting because those are good for you. I'm sure you heard that. Um, or take these supplements, especially anti-aging supplements, or maybe detox protocols or cleanse, like parasite cleanse. Anybody? So does any of these sound familiar to you? I see comments.
Yeah.
Yes.
You can just unmute and talk if
Okay.
you feel called to do so.
Yeah. Okay. I'll be on the. Oh, I see Sarah Waters. I'm just gonna say the last name because we have two Sarah here.
Yeah.
See Sarah, non-functioning thyroid. Okay, got it. So I want to share my own experience really quick because everything I mentioned there is actually I experienced those. And I call it from chasing health to living it. And it's my own 10-year shift that changed everything. So like Sarah's introduction, I was a pharmacist, a clinical pharmacy specialist. I've gone through all the training I could do to become a clinical pharmacy specialist who work in ICU settings. So I was working with ICU teams, I was rounding the hospital, working with all these other healthcare professionals. I was on top of everything. I had everything together. I had my dream job. And you can look at my picture. I was receiving an award from the CEO at that time. But really, in my heart, I knew that something was just not there. And I knew that over time, and I could feel that over time, my health was declining. And I can share with you just very honestly, a period of time, I had to be on sleeping medication, Ambien. I know everybody heard of Ambien. It's a sleeping pill. And one day I took Ambien, I went to sleep, I woke up. I woke up at the hospital, meaning I did not remember how I got to work. That was my wake up call. I'm like, okay, I cannot take this medication anymore because I have no recollection of what happened between I went to sleep and I got to hospital. But over time, besides that, I just started to notice I have these symptoms here and there. And I got into functional medicine with, I always call it postpartum hormone craziness, because that's when I actually decided to go back to school to pursue a master's degree in functional medicine and nutrition. I got into that because I was pregnant with my daughter. And isn't that funny? I was a pharmacist, but I was like, okay, I don't want to take any drugs. I was having like nausea and just feel really nauseated all the time from, this growing belly. And one night I was so uncomfortable. I still remember that night. I couldn't sleep. My husband was sleeping. Ugh, I was so mad. So what did I do? Of course, I would stay up. Well, I woke up, I took out my computer and start Googling, what can I eat when I am pregnant to reduce this nausea? And then I have no idea what happened. It must be like a divine intervention or something. Somehow I saw this, she was a registered dietitian. So I actually saw her website and I saw her title like functional medicine nutrition. And I was like, okay, what is that? That's when I get into the rabbit hole. That started my functional medicine journey. That's how I went back to school when I had like a newborn. It was just crazy. I don't even know how I did it. But so I've been practicing functional medicine since then. That has been, well, my daughter is 10 years old. So the last 10 years, including my pharmacy. Well, with my pharmacy career, that will be 20 years. Um, and I just want to share one interesting thing is every time, like nobody ever really thanked me for teaching them about medications. But when I help somebody to change their diet so that he could sleep better because of better blood sugar control, I got like things and like cookies in my like pharmacy clinic. Isn't that interesting? Nobody wants to take drugs, really. That's what I'm saying. But anyway, I say functional medicine frustration because for a period of time I was doing community outreach. I've come across many people who were angry with functional medicine. They were like, I spent thousands of dollars on this work. I am on these like tons of supplements. And I started to feel that actually at that time, like, am I just giving like supplements instead of medications? And also my own story, my gut symptoms actually was gradually getting worse. I've seen doctors. I went to urgent care one time and they are like, nothing's wrong with you. So just take some, Prilosec or Protonix. It's a PPI, and then and reduce your stress. At least they told me to reduce my stress and be done with it. But you know what? I should know better, right? I am a functional medicine practitioner, but I can tell you that I've done all the gut protocols and I wasn't getting better until actually very recent. That was last summer when I took a trip back to my home country in Taiwan. And at that time, I was like, okay, how am I going to take all these supplements for international travel? And you want to guess what I did? This is what I did. I said, screw everything. I didn't take anything with me. So I just kind of, you know what, I'll just deal with whatever came during that trip. I don't know if it was another divine intervention or miracles, but all my symptoms went away during that trip. No gut issues, no perimenopausal issues, because I was having night sweats, hot flushes. I woke up anxious. And I was like, oh my God, I was menopause. I'm not ready for that. Because of my experience in Taiwan last summer, I actually came back to the US. I was thinking, oh gosh, what's going to happen now? Are those symptoms coming back? That's when I actually dive into the research of what, okay, I'm just going to say, what the heck happened to me in Taiwan? How did I get well? Because I want to know how I got well. I don't want to know how I got sick. I want to know how I got well. And I really think that is a missing question that people may not be asking. How do I get well? And that's how I discover circadian biology and quantum biology. That's another layer. And that's how I guide my clients now. And I just gonna throw it out here. That's why I call the wisdom within shift. So that is my story. And there's a lot of things, but I'm just going to talk about one thing today, and that is leptin. And leptin, I know, have anybody here heard about leptin? Let me just start from there.
From your article.
From my article. Anybody else heard about leptin? Norma heard about leptin. Okay, that's okay. And I've heard about leptin actually prior to this, but more in the context of leptin is a hormone secreted by fat cells and stored in the fat. So in the context of suppressing appetite for weight loss, that was the context. But now I understand leptin actually does more than that. It actually tells your body how much energy storage do you have. And I want to explain to you why that is important. Does everybody drive a car here or owns a car? Yes, okay. And do you know how much gas you have in your car for most part? At least you know where to look. Yeah, right? So what happens when you don't know how much gas you have in your car? You're just driving. What would you do if you don't know how much gas you have? You don't know how far you can drive, right?
Exactly. We'd be stranded probably.
And you might be driving like, okay, I don't know how much gas I have in my car. Oh, there's a gas station. Let me go get some gas just in case, right? Just in case. does that sound familiar? I don't know how much energy storage I have in my body. So I'm just gonna eat. And that is where the craving comes from. I'm just gonna eat in case I'm starving, but I don't know if I'm starving, right? So leptin is a hormone that actually tells you how much energy storage you have at this given moment. I need to change my computer. I need a new computer. It's so slow or so fast. I don't know. So here, leptin, I mentioned that it's produced and released by fat cells. It does control appetite. It's actually the relatively newly discovered hormone. It's like 1990s. That's when that was discovered. And I kind of mentioned that it tells your brain how much energy storage you have. So here is really interesting about leptin. Every night when we are sleeping, so usually around midnight to 2 a.m. in the morning, leptin is released by fat. So you can look at a picture here. And then leptin released by fat, it travels to the brain, to this area it's called hypothalamus. And there are receptors where leptin just stuck into these receptors. That's where the download occurs. That's where leptin tells the brain, okay, Sharon, you have this amount of energy at this moment. So tomorrow morning when you wake up, you need to be hungry so you can eat to restore your energy. That means that is the signal I'm talking about. Or, hey, Sharon's, your leptin level is higher than what we need. So you have plenty of energy storage. So you can stop eating and start burning fat instead. So it does determine your appetite. It does affect your metabolism. And the key is, and I keep emphasizing this, does the body have enough energy storage? Why is that important? The body will always prioritize survival function, right? So when there's only enough energy for survival, it's going to use the energy for that instead of for healing and repair. So can you start to see how leptin hormone is so important, not just for appetite regulation, but for healing overall? Any questions about this before I move forward? Because I really want this to be more like conversational and it is informal.
Okay, so I have kind of a question. Is that why sometimes I fast and I'm good without eating until 1 p.m. and other days I really need to eat when I wake up?
Yes, that's probably one factor. But then
Yeah.
remind me later to talk about fasting.
Okay, because everybody tells me I need to fast and it's really good for your body. But there are days that my does not agree with that statement. And it's really hard on my stomach and on my head. So I really need to eat, even when
Yeah,
I'm stubborn. So,
I
okay.
know. And I know that I'm just talking about leptin right now, but leptin fits into a bigger picture of circadian rhythm.
Uh,
Okay. Yeah. Any other questions about this here?
Well, I'm a grazer, so I eat a lot of small meals throughout the day, and I'm not even sure if that's going to kick that in because it's just I'll have a small breakfast, a little snack. But there are some days, like Sarah said, where I'll wake up and I'm like, I am hungry today. And I mean, it wasn't like I starved myself the day before. It's just certain days I'm hungrier than other days.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for sharing your experience. So yeah, leptin, it changes throughout, right? Every day it's going to vary. But I'm also going to share, I'm trying to think, how do I make this easy to understand? So circadian rhythm, like our body is influenced by light. And that is the most important factor control circadian rhythm. The second one is how you eat when you eat. So meaning, do you eat breakfast? What time is your breakfast? Do you graze all day or not? Or when do you fast? So light and full are two primary, well, light is the primary, but full is a secondary signal, because I look at them as signal to your body. So yeah, okay, I forgot I have this slide coming up. So I talk about circadian rhythm, and is everybody familiar with circadian rhythm? I just want to stop. Okay. So circadian rhythm is the 24-hour rhythm that we have every day. So it starts from the sun. So it's a light and dark cycle. So we are all ladies here, and we are familiar with the monthly menstrual cycle, right? That's the monthly rhythm that we have. But every day we have this circadian rhythm. It's controlled by light, dark. So these two hormones, and probably you're familiar with cortisol and melatonin, right? So the circadian rhythm, like I said, is 24-hour, influenced by primary by light. When your eyes get the signal from light every morning, the light goes into your eyes, goes to your hypothalamus. That sounds familiar, right? As we leptin talk, it goes to your hypothalamus. It tells in the hypothalamus, there is this place, it's called SCN. You don't have to know the name. Just know that there is a master clock in the hypothalamus. So the light you receive in your eyes in the morning is going to tell your master clock what time it is. So I wake up, I see the sunlight, sunrise. My body gets a signal. Sharon is starting of the day. That's wake up. That is when cortisol starts to release. And the key is here. The next thing I'm going to share with you. The master clock got a signal from the light, and it's going to send a signal to the rest of the body. Every organ system in the body has a clock. It's called peripheral clock. So you can think of your thyroid hormone has a clock, your digestive system has a clock, your kidney, your liver, your lungs, your muscle, every single system, that means every single cell in the body has a clock. And these peripheral clock get signal from your master clock in the hypothalamus. From there, they know it's morning time. They started to do what they're supposed to do. I'm going to use digestion as an example. Let's just take a guess. Digestive system, when is that most active? Is it during the day or at night? Anybody want to chime in?
I want to say the day.
Yeah, yes, because I mean, it's no brainer, right? Because when you're sleeping, are you eating? No, you're not eating when you're sleeping. So why does the stomach need to be awake? Right? Right. So, and then I know, I think it was Sarah Water mentioned that taking thyroid medication. Were you like, do you take thyroid medication in the morning or at night?
I have to
When
take it first thing in the morning on an empty stomach.
Exactly. And as a pharmacist, I know that's what I always tell people first thing in the morning with empty stomach. Why do we do that? Why do I, as a pharmacist, recommend people to take that in the morning? Well, because thyroid start to function in the morning. That's when the light signal gets, right? When it receives a signal from the master clock, that's when it says, okay, wake up, it's time to function. That's start of metabolism, right? That's why we say take thyroid medication in the morning. So I hope you start to see like the circadian rhythm is what do we do, what do we supposed to do in the day, and what do we supposed to do at night? And that's going to vary, depends on the organ system. So you can see the rhythm here. In the morning, cortisol is going to peak. And that's where the melatonin is known as the sleeping hormones, but that melatonin does more than that. I will just put that there. Melatonin drop in the morning, and as the time goes through, the cortisol is going to drop, and then melatonin is going to raise at night when we are ready for sleep. So leptin, we know cortisol and melatonin. Leptin, not many people are aware of this. Leptin is a circadian rhythm hormones too. So leptin hormone follows light and dark cycle. Here is the key. Leptin surges at night when cortisol level is low. So that means when the mechanism I explained, the docking at midnight into the brain, that can only happen when cortisol level is low, when you are sleeping at night. That's when the body download that information about how much energy storage you have. That is the key. So that means leptin responds to light, just like cortisol and melatonin. That's a connection. And I know that every woman's probably worried about hormones, right? Okay, especially midlife, oh, my estrogen is dominant, or my progesterone is low. I can totally relate to that. And I'm going to also recognize that because as we age, those hormones will naturally decline. But I want us to be able to go upstream to that. And this is where leptin comes into place. Leptin is not just for appetite or fat. Why is that? Because I keep saying leptin is information download to tell your body how much energy storage you have. So there are a lot of studies showing that leptin is related to your cardiovascular, your heart condition. It's related to your brain health, your thyroid, your fertility or hormones health. It's related to your bones. So I know that when we get older, the doctor will start to do like bone density test. And so they are looking for osteopenia, osteoporosis, but leptin is related to bone. Leptin is really important for a good functioning immune system. And of course, leptin is directly related to your metabolism, specifically in your like blood sugar regulation, so your insulin. So when you take a moment to look at this from high like perspective, what does that tell you? When you look at all these systems require a lot of energy, right? Okay, it takes a lot of energy to make a baby. So, yeah. Right? Bones are always being broken down and rebuilt. That is a very energy demanding task that happens every day. So can you start to see the relationship between leptin and bones? What about your heart? I mean, you know that heart is doing the work all the time. What about your brain? The brain requires so much energy. Yeah. So do you start to see how leptin or leptin resistance might affect overall health? And I'm also going to mention immune system. Immune system can drain a lot of energy, especially if it's active fighting infections.
Norma has a question. She asked if she takes an afternoon nap, is there a download?
The afternoon nap? I mean,
if she has a nap, you know how you said it was related to sleep?
Is there a download? It might be a different type of download.
I just didn't know if like when you're resting, you know, when you take that 20-minute nap, 15-minute nap, if you still get that download.
No, the leptin docking into hypothalamus, it occurs at night when cortisol level is at the lowest. So
Okay.
in the afternoon, the cortisol level is still elevated. Well, higher compared to night. So
Yeah.
well, I
Okay.
say it's a different type of download because you might
Thank
have
you.
some other things. Yeah. Sorry, my chat wasn't open, so I didn't see that. In the article, I don't think I put the slide here. In the article, I talk about leptin resistance, and what that means is just the body is not getting the signal about that download. So it's almost like I don't know if anybody has teenagers here. But I have a 10-year-old, so I don't have a teenager yet. But it's almost like you're trying to tell your teenager something and they are just not listening. Okay, that's leptin resistance. And then the leptin is just screaming and they're just not hearing it. So the body is not getting the signal for this regulation. So that's leptin resistance. Leptin resistance, what are the symptoms? So it's exactly what I mentioned before, the craving, especially late night craving. It's overweight or obesity. That's a sign of leptin resistant. And why is that? Because when we have more fat storage, we release more leptin. Okay. What else? If there is already blood sugar issues, that's leptin resistance, because leptin resistance always happens before insulin resistance. So when there's thyroid issue, you will also want to consider look into leptin resistance. So any of the symptoms I mentioned before, but primary is weight, craving, and blood sugar, stress out. Those are like could be leptin resistance. But I also want to mention for some people, leptin level may be low. So that's a different type of leptin resistance. They are not getting enough signal versus there's too much signal and the body's just not listening. So that's a difference. I know in the US, you can actually ask your doctor to measure leptin level, but I have not seen anybody get this lab done, but it's available. So that's something for you to consider. Measuring the level if you find yourself having those symptoms I just described. So those are available. And then I put this winter versus summer metabolism here is, and I'm just going to ask, are you eating like is summer all year round? Like, are you eating the same way every season? Probably not too much variation. Maybe more salad in the summer and less in the winter.
More in the winter?
Yeah, but in terms of how much carbohydrate you eat, how much animal like protein and fat you eat, it might be the same over each season. But I put this here because this is what I'm observing in myself and with the clients I work with. They come in with all these symptoms or diagnosis. I just got off a call with someone who newly diagnosed with thyroid cancer. She already had fatty liver. She already had autoimmune issues. She's overweight. She's craving all the time. I mentioned she had fatty liver. So in the back of mind, that is a clear signs of we had to optimize her leptin level. Look, I cannot diagnose, so we must optimize her leptin sensitivity. So what I was trying to say is her body is not broken. Her body is really confused about what day it is, what time it is, and what season it is, because the way she was eating is the same. The moment she wake up in the morning, she grab her iPhone and look at that phone and download, like check social media, check email. And why is it not conducive for healing to do that? Do you know that in the screen, it's blue light? I'm sure you probably heard of that, right? Blue light. It's very strong in blue lights. It's artificial blue light. Remember when I talk about circadian rhythm, the light come into your eyes, tell your master clock the time. if looking at the phone, especially when you don't have filter on, you get this strong signal of blue light. Your body is confused at the moment. Hey, Sharon, it's morning. It's supposed to be morning. You just wake up. I look at my phone. It fast forward my time to noon in summer. Can you see how that can be very confusing for the body? It's supposed to be 7 o'clock in the morning, and I already fast forward to noon in June because of that strong signal from the phone, the blue light signal. So I was explaining to my client, it's almost like you just experience traveling to, I don't know, to like past California, I'm in Houston, without traveling. You just experience a jet lag when you do that in the morning. So yes. So that, how does that work? Well, your thyroid is missing the I need to wake up signal. Now it's already noon. So what do I supposed to do? Signal. I'm also going to use the same example for a night. I know I'm guilty of doing this, so I'm not perfect, but I've changed. Looking at your phone before you go to bed, right? It's dark outside, Sharon, you should be sleeping. Melatonin should be releasing. Look at that phone, that's blue light. Guess what? At that moment, it suppress your melatonin. You surge the cortisol. And didn't I say leptin need low cortisol level to download? Do you see how can be very confusing for the body?
I'm getting very upset here, Sharon.
I know, I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
I read on my iPad at night when I go to bed. Do you mean that my iPad has the same light as my phone, and so my body thinks it's already noon or something like that?
Oh, unless you have filter, blue light filter,
I don't.
unless you're wearing blue light blockers. Yes.
Oh my gosh.
This is why, because I look back to my pharmacist day, this is why I needed Ambien because I was working, well, on top of that, I was working these crazy different shifts from day to evenings. And what do I do after my evening shifts? Well, I look at the phone. Like I said, I'm guilty of everything I share. So can I phone till bedtime? Of course, I needed Ambien because I never allowed that melatonin to get released. Now, our eyes are fabulous. Our human eyes are amazing. They are sensitive to light, especially at night. A little amount of light can suppress your melatonin release at night. So I tell like all my clients I'm working with, make your house really dark as you possibly can. I know that we still have work to do or things to do in the evening time, but make it as dark as you can and block blue lights. Like if you take nothing away from this master class, that is the key to support your leptin sensitivity and actually really bottom line is support your mitochondrial function. And we don't have, let me see what time, we don't have a lot of time to talk about mitochondrial function, but when you do that, you are actually supporting your cellular health.
Okay, so about the blue light, wow. What about foods? You were saying, are you eating the same way in winter as you are in the summer? Should we be eating? I mean, I know we should, but everything is so easy nowadays. We have everything available all year round. So, should we go back and eat seasonally?
Oh yeah, you got it, Sarah. Yes, absolutely. Everybody knows what Trader Joe is, a grocery store here in the US, Trader Joe. One time I went to Trader Joe, I saw these beautiful like oranges. And I look at it, I'm like, South Africa. Do you know how far South Africa is from Houston? Like I paused for a moment. I don't know whether I should be so excited. Like I have accessibility to all type of fruit and food, like all season round? Or should I be concerned about what did they actually have to do to send these oranges from South Africa? But one thing I will also share, I know I'm throwing away like a lot of information here, and it may sound so crazy, but I'm so passionate about these because this is what changed my life, my health. Food is not just calorie, food is not just nutrients, food is light information. And when I say light, it's sunlight. Think about what's needed to grow oranges. Soil, water, and light, right? Without sunlight, oranges are not going to grow. The sunlight information in Africa in summer is going to be different in Houston. And I know this is going to sound like completely ooh and out there, but your mitochondria, my mitochondria in the body, they are sensors. They can detect that light information. So that goes back to what Sarah, you say, eating seasonally and locally is actually the best type of diet that you can have. And I'm just going also to say that, but it depends on what else is going on in your health, right? Some people may need therapeutic diet if there are other conditions going on. That's a little bit different. But generally, eating seasonally and locally is a very good diet to start, to follow.
A good approach to take, right?
Yes. So that is in addition to light. So food is not a top thing on my list anymore. It's your light environment. Because when we have the light environment conducive for healing, your hormones start to regulate your cortisol, your melatonin, your leptin. And these are the mother hormones that's going to regulate your estrogen, your progesterone, your insulin. Those are downstream hormones. So when we are so worried about everything, like what supplements do I take for my hormones, that's also get all these other factors in place.
Yeah. And so we got light, we got food. What about the exercise? My body resists a lot. My body resists exercise, full stop, like a couch any day. A walk, yes, I like walking. But I don't feel well when I do the HIIT exercises. My body does not like the impact. I do the yoga, I walk a lot, I ride my bike sometimes, but I really resist even more HIIT exercises. It's really, really impactful. So should we, shouldn't we? Is there anything that is connected to the leptin where exercise is concerned or not really?
So exercise, yes, it is in a way connected to both circadian rhythm and leptin level because our muscles actually, okay, I'll just say it. The best time to exercise is actually probably in the afternoon between 3 and 5 o'clock. But that might not work for everybody. So I don't want you to think that you have to do this, because I understand everybody's different schedule and different things.
Yeah. So Sarah Walters was saying that she feels like she sleeps better when she goes for a walk outside. What about this walk? Should we do it like in the morning to get all that light in, or should we also do it at between 3 and 5 in the afternoon?
So I want to say to Sarah Waters, you already experienced the healing of the sun because you said that when you go for a walk outside, you feel better. It's because like I said, melatonin is a hormone that we all associate with sleep. Melatonin is produced in the morning, released at night. So yes, you're gonna sleep better when you walk outside in the morning. So I always share with my clients, like, you want to sleep better, start with the morning, not the night, the morning. Yes, so if you can get your walk outside in the morning, that's fabulous. And you already experienced that, Sarah.
Awesome.
And then, do I answer your questions,
Yes.
Sarah?
Well,
Okay.
we were talking about exercise, yes or no. So yeah, I walk, but I was just wondering if there was a relation, a really bigger thing that we should do the heat exercises or not.
I really, in my opinion, this is my opinion, I'll say that I don't think we have to do hit or strength. I mean, they are beneficial, but
Of
always
course.
tune to your body. Like, what does your body needs, right?
I've been
Something.
Oh, sorry. No, I was just gonna say I've been trying the intuitive eating, so I will eat vegetable. I'm eating more fruit because of that. I'm not a fruit person, but lately I have been eating fruit. And it's because, I'm letting like my body really tell me what it wants to eat. And sometimes when it doesn't know, it just wants to eat, I drink water and and I figured that I was dehydrated. That's why I was feeling hungry. I didn't even know what I wanted to eat. So I drink water and the feeling goes away. And then when I feel hungry, my body tells me if it wants fruit or if it wants some bread and butter, because that happens, or whatever. So I'm trying to figure out, but it has probably nothing to do with leptin, but I'm trying to figure out for myself what I see, what I kind of
Yeah,
get from it.
I'll say this, if circadian practice is not part of your lifestyle, then the body is in some sort of confused state and it's going to affect your appetite.
Mm.
And that is going to affect leptin. So the cravings, whether it's for fruits or chips, what's causing the craving? That's really the deeper question.
Okay.
Because craving for me, I mean, it could be so many things, but from leptin perspective, it's almost like, okay, I don't know how much gas I have. There's a gas station. Let me go get some gas. Yeah.
Okay.
Vegan. Yeah. So to optimize leptin, really start from two things. Morning sun and with your breakfast is protein and fat. Prioritize that. Um, like the cereal and the donuts and coffee, those are just not a very good leptin breakfast. Those are not good breakfast. I'll just say it. Those are not good breakfast.
Those are not good breakfast. Full stop. Yeah.
If you want dessert, yeah, that'll just be
Well,
nice.
unless you were reading on your iPad and your body thinks it's noon, so you're okay there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sure.
Anybody has any questions for Sharon before she leaves us? Did you get anything from these? Do you think it was helpful? Do you have questions? Do you have feedback? Anything?
So I have a question. So I get insomnia with menopause, and you were mentioning about looking at your phone at night, and I'm like, so my Kindle is included in that too, right? It's anything with a light, because I'm like, I don't want to be sitting in the dark with my thoughts when I'm going through this. It's like I need to. How do you deal with the changing of your body when you can't sleep, and you've done all the things, eating right, exercising. It's just that you wake up and you're up.
And I'm going to also ask all the things as I include the light, because when that includes the light, it might change the story.
Okay.
Yes, and the light, like there's a reason I'm outside.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I also share that my light environment of my home, I change it. I don't have any artificial lighting or blue light at night,
Okay.
right? And then I pay attention to like the how do I say it? Like the things. like the Wi-Fi's. I don't have Wi-Fi turned on at night. I turn it off because all those non-native EMF is affecting the body. And also keep an eye on like how do I eat, what time do I eat, what do I eat, when do I exercise? I mean, I don't pay attention. It's just part of what I do now. So it's just, and it may change how you sleep. And then I want to ask Kathy, the Kindle, I know Kindle has that night shift mode as well. Like there's a night mode. So turn that on, minimally turn that on.
Turn that on, yes, because I have it. It's really a low light compared to if I was looking at my cell phone. So,
But it's also pay attention to blue light. Like low light doesn't mean blue light is gone. So that's
okay. Well, thank you.
Sarah, I
I
had a
know
question.
someone else was going to.
It wasn't really a question, it was more just thank you for explaining why we take thyroid medicine first thing in the morning, because I never really put the two and two together.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been taking it for 48 years of my life. So it just never really clicked on why we take it first thing in the morning with empty
I
stomach.
mean, circadian biology is not new. It's not new science. It's always been there, but the light, whether it's sunlight or artificial light, that is an invisible, ubiquitous force that's affecting our body every single moment when you're exposed to that. It's just because they are there that we as humans, we forget their impact. That including the medical system, the healthcare. Because when you go into a hospital, it's all blue light. Right? But
Yeah.
we kind of forgot their, well, I don't know if it's forgot or I don't know, not recognized, but I did not recognize its impact on me until all these symptoms started to occur over the years.
Yeah.
And then when I changed that, that's where the missing factor that changed my health.
Well, thank you, Sharon. This was very, very informative. Thank you so much. So I will put the links together with the video for people who want to reach out to you. But if you just want to leave, like, I don't know, your website or an email that people can contact you.
Yeah, do you want me to
You want to put them in the chat?
yeah, the best way is actually follow me on Facebook. But I'll
Okay.
put my website here.
Okay.
And everybody is in the group, right? In the
Yes, I think so. Yes, yes. Yes, and I'll put a post in the group as well. So if anybody's not there, they'll reach out and I'll send it directly.
yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you everyone for showing up.
Thank you.
I appreciate the support. And yes,
All right.
thank you.